Welcome back to our channels, Warriors. We are still growing. If you haven't had that homie that sells flowers on the side of the road, smash that subscribe button. Go ahead and have him smash it right now. First and foremost, let me give a shout out to the newest patrons. Ramon, Lead With Love, Johnny, Charles, Albert 12, Soulstar LA, my Tocayo Hector, Coach Ken, Miguel L, AI Vega, Fio, Claudia, Esquiel, Miguel, Let Our Actions Other to Christ, Big Bad 48, Nova, Jack, Linda, Michigan Wolverines, Marius, Chevelle 66, Gigi, Abuelita's Journey, and Daus Herrero. As you can see, that list is getting bigger and bigger. If you have not already signed up, make sure you hit that link in the description below. You do not want to be missing out. This goddamn episode right here is going to be about when I was doing it, man. When I was doing it as a crisis response team commander, public information officer, all the titles in the world, right? Golden boy, here we go. Well, Hector, you must have been living large. You must have been ordering lobster, shrimp, and all-you-can-eat buffet at Soup Plantation Sizzlers. You must have not had any complaints in the world, right? Wrong. People always ask me how it was to work for that warden. I used to tell them it was like being the right-hand man for Hitler. It was the truth, right? Sure, it's a good spot, but do you really want to be the right-hand man for Hitler? Wow. Aside from making the difficult changes on the crisis response team, that's when that attempted murder on a peace officer happened on Bravo Yard, right? You had that one member go off and stab up 2 officers. Miraculously, that yard went on lockdown, right? Went on lockdown. Not long, but it went on lockdown. But what you guys don't know is that there was a food sale planned for Alpha Yard and Bravo Yard. Well, and Charlie Yard. But it was barbecue plates. So I had a good rapport with the community resource manager girl. She was a good girl. She was cool. I had a good rapport with her. She comes up to me. She's like, "Hey, Bravo Yard is scheduled to have a food sale barbecue, but like, should we still do it considering they just like stabbed 2 officers this month?" And I'm like, "Nah, cancel that. Cancel it out. Think about it. Think about what happened." The inmates on that yard, the Southsiders, rushed the officers and stabbed them with weapons, beat them with batons, and there was a food sale scheduled to be planned. I know what Dom says. Dom says in the case of an emergency or whatever, you can refund them. So in other words, they had already prepaid for food that was scheduled to go there, like barbecue plates. So I tell her to cancel it. She scratches off the list. She takes it to that snake chief deputy warden. She questions like, "Hey, why did you cross this off?" She's like, "Add it back on." So she adds it back on. She brings it back to me. And me being the PIO, I cross it back off, right? It just didn't seem right that they could be enjoying barbecue plates after almost brutally stabbing 2 cops. Or brutally killing. They stabbed them, all right. Comes back. She's like, "Hey, the chief's going to get mad at me." She said she knows where it's coming from and why it keeps getting scratched off. I'm like, I need to have a word with the warden, right? I'm going to go talk to the warden. So I kind of barge into his office in a way, and I said, "Sir, can I get a minute with you?" And this fool goes, "Before you say one more thing, I want you to remember that if you don't like this spot, you can leave." And I'm like, this was the beginning, right? This was the beginning. It wasn't like because I would eventually take the dude up on his offer. I was like, it ain't that serious. Like in my head, I'm like, it ain't that serious, but hey, sir, like, but he goes, go ahead. I think I know what you're gonna say. I said, hey, we just had that stabbing on Bravo Yard, and the food sale is supposed to go on. He's like, yeah, it's gonna go on. I was like, hey, sir, like, with all due respect, like, I told myself I would never sell my soul. I would never sell my soul to be up here in this seat. He's like, oh, well, you're not selling your soul. I'm not asking you to hand out those barbecue plates. I'm going to be down there personally handing out the barbecue plates. I'm like, oh, sir, like, he's like, oh, and just so you know, I have all the wardens throughout the state trying to follow my program, and I'm leading the first. We're going to have the first food sale in ADSEG. Oh, my God. I'm like, wow, man. Like, all right. I left, right? I'm like, well, I'm not handing out the fucking barbecue plates. I'm not handing out the barbecue plates. So, believe it or not, well, believe it. A couple months or a couple days go by, yeah, scheduled to have the food sale. The food sale on that yard. So all those Southsiders that were involved were sent to the hole on that yard, Bravo 6 and Bravo 7, ADSEG, for the attempted murder of a peace officer. They all got rolled into it. Luckily, thankfully, one of those guys had the common decency. This is what a cop in ADSEG told me. Thankfully, one of those Southsiders had the common decency to tell the other, his peers, hey, do not boast, do not brag, do not fucking, like, just eat your shit and shut up, right? Like, which is cool, man, because that's the last thing. Imagine the blood boiling. Like, they just stabbed, they just took off on us, and now they're enjoying barbecue. Finger licking good. Marcus, Connie, right? And it wasn't cool. That didn't sit right with me. My Theraflu just kicked in. Feel a little bit better now towards the end of the video. Fuck, ya vali verga. But that was the beginning. That was the beginning of, well, that was like the middle beginning. I told you, he said, choose your words wisely. You don't have to have this spot. You can always go back to the line. And that first time, I didn't take him up on his offer because it wasn't that serious. Well, it was that serious, but like, it was early on. I would eventually take the dude up on his offer, right? I'm going to wrap it up with this one. The message for today is, look at the warnings, man. Heed the warnings. If something doesn't sit right, seem right, or look right, it's probably not right. Think about that. Keep pushing forward.